Hey, welcome everybody to the class today. This is a lesson on advanced idioms and phrasal verbs. This is taken from a book called Advanced Idioms and Phrasal Verbs, and it's by Oxford University Press. I've actually got a book on phrasal verbs. It's called Visual Phrasal Verbs. If you fancy buying this book, you can find it on Amazon in colour and in black and white, and you can also find it on my website as a PDF. Now, this year I'm planning on doing a lot more classes, so please keep an eye on the channel and you should see a lot more lessons. And I'm also planning on bringing out another couple of books, so hopefully, fingers crossed, they'll get done soon. Now, if you have mixed feelings about something or about somebody, that would work as well. It means you have both positive and negative feelings about someone or something. Hi Ronan. Good to see you. So mixed feelings means both positive and negative feelings about somebody or something. It's as simple as that. If you hear the idiom, there is no smoke without fire, this generally means that when you hear some kind of bad rumour about somebody or about something, there probably is some kind of truth in it. The idea is that, yeah, if there's smoke, there must be a fire somewhere. So if there's bad gossip going round about somebody or something, there's probably an element of truth in there in some kind of way. By the way, this is from chapter 28 of this book, Advanced Idioms and Phrasal Verbs. 1 second, I'm going to get my coffee, because like many teachers, I can't live without my coffee. So use this idiom when you're trying to say that there's some kind of reality to the bad rumour or bad gossip that's going around, or if somebody's got a bad reputation, you might say no smoke without fire, meaning there must be a reason why they've got a bad reputation. Now, if something happens in broad daylight, this topic is very often about crime. And you very often use this expression to say that a terrible crime happened in the middle of the day, in broad daylight, when nobody could hide down a dark alleyway or something like that. So please, you can often use this if you're talking about crime. It's a very useful expression to say that something actually happened in the middle of the day. So hi everybody who's out there, thanks for commenting. If you are on the lookout for somebody, this means that you are keeping an eye out for somebody. There's another expression that you can use, keep an eye out for somebody, be on the lookout for somebody, or something maybe. And it just means you're being vigilant. You want to see somebody or something. If criminals hold up a post office or hold up a bank, it means rob a post office or rob a bank. This is nearly always used with places. So you might even say hold somewhere up. Hold up a post office, hold up a bank. So you might say 3 men held up the post office at gunpoint yesterday, meaning that they did it with guns, but we'll come to that in a second. Now, if the attackers, the assailants, are lying in wait for their victim, it means that they are waiting for them, yeah? They are waiting to ambush their victim. Now, ambush can be a verb or a noun, an ambush, and to ambush somebody. And so when you lie in wait for somebody, you're waiting to ambush them. But ambush is very often used for soldiers, okay? Soldiers generally ambush the enemy. Now, if you do something at gunpoint, like you rob somebody at gunpoint, it means you use a gun to rob them, to mug them. But you can also mug somebody at knife point. This is becoming a very common crime, unfortunately, in the UK. And I think young people in particular, teenagers, unfortunately, very often get mugged at knife point, because we do have a problem with knife crime here. And so I'm sure it's the same in many other places as well. So at gunpoint or at knife point means with a gun or with a knife. And it's very often used for criminals. They do something at gunpoint, like rob somebody or mug somebody at gunpoint, at knife point. Okay, if you make off with something, you escape with something. It's the same as run off with something, exactly the same as that. So you might say that the thieves held up the post office and made off with £2,000, £20,000, whatever they stole. Now, if you step something up, you increase something. Very often you step up your efforts to find the criminal. The police, the authorities might step up their efforts to find the criminal, and it means they're working harder and harder to find the criminal. Now, here's another interesting expression. In the wake of something. So you might say, in the wake of the financial crisis, many banks have closed down, or many banks have gone bankrupt, or many companies have gone bankrupt. And it means in the aftermath of something. Maybe you know aftermath, but wake can also mean, you might remember from Life and Death video, that wake is a party, not really a party, but not really a celebration, but when somebody dies, when you come together to remember that person, we call that a wake or a vigil. And this is why we use it in this expression. In the wake of something means after something happens. So a consequence of something. So in the wake of the financial crisis could be reworded as a consequence of, or after the financial crisis and in consequence of the financial crisis. I hope I've made that clear and not made it more confusing. Now, these three we've seen in other videos: come down on something, crack down on something, clamp down on something. This is when the authorities become stricter about a particular a crime. So if they come down hard on, or come down heavily on, that's very often collocated together. If they come down heavily on pickpockets in the city centre, then they try to introduce tougher sentences for pickpockets, that kind of thing. But they could come down heavily on knife crime, in which case they go out there and they stop and search lots of young people to find out if they've got knives or weapons in their bags, something like that. Okay, if you are in possession of something like guns or drugs, that means that you have those items on your person or in your house or something like that. You possess those items. But this is a very formal way of saying it, and it's very often used for criminal things, for crime. So it's very often in possession of drugs or in possession of weapons, something that you shouldn't be in possession of. Now, if you nip something in the bud, this means that you act early, in the early